Hey guys, it's Last Son. Welcome to the channel. I'm today going to start the first episode of Journey Through the Seaverse, taking a look at all the different companies of the Seaverse. And today we're going to start with the United States Pro Wrestling. So you can see here, it was created in 2001. It was built around offering family-friendly product that's heavy on unabashed patriotism and 1980s wrestling nostalgia. Sam Strong owned it, leveraged his huge name value to make the company a genuine player. They were brought out by billionaire Aaron Packer to put content on his new Reverie subscription-based network. It's got huge financial muscle now. They've quickly become the biggest wrestling company on the planet. So as we take a look here at your size, 82s basically across the US, you're already considered a huge company. 82s across Canada, 74s across Mexico, British Isles, you're at 64, Japan, you're at 52, Europe, 50, Oceania, 60, and India, you're at 44. So you are a major company all throughout the world, and that probably is because of your coverage. So you are huge coverage in America, Canada, big in, Mexico and Britain, medium in, Japan and Europe, Oceania, you're big, medium in India as well. So you have huge coverage, and that comes from your broadcasting. Reverie, they're subscription-based platform, huge reach and power. That's why you have become such a huge powerhouse in the world of wrestling, is because this subscription-based network reaches everywhere. So that is one huge advantage you have as the USPW, is that you have a huge amount of coverage and broadcasting ability. You do have 50 million in the bank, so you have a ton of money to do whatever you would like to do with. Take a look at your events and your TV. So you have one TV show, runs every Wednesday. It's American Wrestling. And then your season finale is Independence Day Slam. So you basically have 7 months of time to build up all your major storylines on a weekly TV show and your pay-per-views. It's a ton of time to come up with the storylines that you want, whether you use the ones that come in the game already pre-booked into the game, or you create new ones for your guys. 7 months of time to build those stories up and get them ready to pay off at Independence Day Slam. So we'll take a look here at some of the new features here, like your booking team. You don't have any head bookers other than yourself. You don't have a booking team, but you have plenty of options here that could potentially add, booking skill and CE to your team. And then the inner circle, you'll have plenty of options. You already have some already built in, like Tyson Bane as a locker room leader, Bulldozer Brandon Smith as a chief enforcer. You already have your road agent, your referee picked out. You have plenty of options and freedom to build the rest of this out the way you would like. So that's a good thing to see. Just taking a look at your product. It's family-friendly pro wrestling. It's Western pro wrestling stripped down. It's all about larger-than-life, colorful characters battling it out in simple matches with interviews and easy-to-follow angles that add to the drama. So I kind of think of it back in the day of, 1980s WWE type of, interviews with Mean Gene Okerlund in the back with Hogan, or he interviewed DiBiase, or he would interview, Jimmy the Mouth of the South. All these guys, they just do the interviews, easy to follow angles, and that would just move the storylines forward that way. So one thing that you have, though, some things about your product, you have spinal impact moves are not allowed, high risk moves are not allowed, and scandals are going to be really hurtful to your prestige and morale. And you're going to have fans. They expect 85% matches, 15% angles on your events, 70%, 30% on your TV shows. So that shows you kind of how they don't really need a lot of angles. It's more based on the wrestling. You are rated match quality wise versus popularity 30 to 70. So you're really popularity based product. So you're going to have to make sure you get a lot of popular wrestlers. It doesn't really matter how good their skills are in the ring. Make sure they're popular. You still need some skill, obviously, but the popularity is the king in this whole entire product. So 10-minute matches are, world-class scores. So you got to have them at least 10 minutes. And there's a lot of things that will be penalized, like eye candy, car crash, hardcore. All that will be penalized. You will make sure that you need to have at least one match aimed at storytelling. You do have stables, and you do have managers in this product as well. So it's a fun product if you're into that whole nostalgic 1980s wrestling. Get yourself a good interviewer for the backstage interviews, have them interview the stars, build that popularity. It could be a fun product to do. Now take a look at roster. We'll take a look at your big stars. You could do major star to star now on your perception, so you can grab that whole entire bit of your stars, and you have quite a few. You have a good mix of stars here. You have Casey Valentine, 33, really good skills here. Julius Moore is 33. You have Nikki Champion, who is your champion, 37. Pariah is 32. Rich Money is a little bit older, 46. I kind of envision him as a Ted DiBiase, someone who can potentially just buy mercenaries to come work for him, and how he always everybody always has a price. I kind of think of Rich Money as that type of person. You have Rick Law, Running Wolf, and Steve Braley. So you have guys that are a little bit older and some that are a little bit younger here. It's a good mix. You have some guys that are potentially going to be, needing to be replaced and moved on from, and that's just the way it is. But as USPW, you kind of just poach the best and brightest stars that you can potentially get, and you just kind of can grab and buy anybody that you want. So let's take a look at star quality here. You have a ton of star quality, a ton of star power. Obviously, I have Alicia Strong, Sam Strong's daughter. You have Alina America. You have, Brandon Smith here, the Bulldozer. Casey Valentine, Charity Sweet. Cooper Christie here is a really young, good-looking wrestler here. A lot of good skills here that you can, be happy about. Star quality is really excellent. Jack Jackson, Jacob Jett. So you have some pretty good choices here, star quality-wise, to build your roster around at the top of, things, and a lot of options that you could potentially bring up your undercard people and create the next stars if you don't have to go out and, potentially buy them. That's something you can do, obviously, with USPW. The backstage environment's really good. You do have some negative influences here that could potentially cause you some problems in the future, but it's something you have to monitor and kind of do as you go here. You don't have a developmental, and you don't even have a training facility. So like I said, USPW is kind of built around poaching the talent from other people, and they don't worry about developmental or training facilities. It's all about kind of just stealing that talent from other people, bringing it in, and taking advantage of everybody else kind of doing all the work of building the stars. The stables you have are the business. This is kind of built around Rich Money, and you have an heir here in Sterling Whitlock. So you kind of have somebody built in to take over this as Rich, kind of phases out. You got Cooper Christie and Turk Treneman, Dusty DuCont, and Elizabeth Cartier here. The Olympus Order. You got Zeus and Bash Street and Saleh Bahala, Triumvirate. Jamie Quinn, Glorious Gloria, Julia King. This was started around Alicia Strong, her heel aura, trying to help her keep the belt and become that, premier heel. It worked, but as Strong has kind of turned babyface and left, they replaced her with Jamie Quinn in the leadership role. Take a look at your titles. You have Rick Law here as the national title. It's a kind of secondary level title. It's something the mid-card fights over. Got pretty good prestige, though, at a 68. You have your women's title at 70 prestige. Alina America has that one right now. It's a floating level championship for the women. It's kind of become synonymous with great wrestling, and the fans have kind of been trained to see that as a very prestigious title. So that's something you can, kind of book around, is that strong women's title. You have your world title here, 88 prestige, Nikki Champion, current 7-time champion. It's gone through highs and lows, as it says. It's one of the best looking belts. In the area of Nikki Champion, though, it's been elevated to one of the most prestigious titles in American wrestling. It's a primary level championship, and final belts you have are the tag team champions. They have a 65 prestige. Current 2-time champions are Bash Street and Saleh Bahala. It's usually not meant for good wrestling. It's not really ever been synonymous with that, they're saying. It's been held by too many lumbering monster heel teams for that to take place, but it's usually pretty strongly booked. So that's something you can continue with this and continue booking it with those monster heel teams, and that storylines those potentially bring. So looking at your storylines, you need 3 that are rated hot or above. You're currently achieving this in the beginning of the shows. You're expected to advance 2 storylines per show, and some of the show's storylines you have available as Alone and Surrounded. This is going to be, your Pariah taking on the Triumvirate. You have Freely and Thompson. So Steve Fraley and Josh Thompson have went to war. They're now locked in this bitter battle for superiority. You have Law and Disorder. So this is going to be based around the national title here, as Rick Law captured it, and now Casey Valentine and Anthony Trask both want to reclaim it. More action, less talk. So this is going to be built around Julius Moore taking on the Olympus Order. And the question you have to answer in this storyline is, can he handle the Olympus Order on his own, or will he have to recruit some allies? You have taken care of the business. This is going to be your championship, world championship kind of rivalry. So Nikki Champion has been a huge rival of the business, goes back a long way. And now this is another chapter where Rich Money played a trap. They, had to beat down a running wolf to try to draw the champion out. And obviously it did, but now it's kicked off another rivalry between these two. And then you have the future of tag team wrestling as your last storyline. This is going to be based around your tag team titles. They're American Gold and the Texas Express. They're going at it to see who will be the #1 contenders for that title. So that's a pretty cool storyline. You have, like I said, 7 months to build these storylines up, create any new ones that you possibly would like to have. And basically, that's a ton of time to build these storylines up. Very nice feature that you don't have to start and then immediately have like your headline show in like 2 or 3 months. You have a long period of time to, build those storylines. So teams, you have quite a good mix of teams here with, pretty good experience. There's one with 100 experience hot stuff here. You have some that are fairly new, but it's a good mix of teams for the tag team division. And it also has a chance that you could potentially build, some more teams out of this. They love their lumbering heel teams, monster teams, things like that. Look at the roster. Think about what combinations you can put together to create more teams to go in. But you don't need a ton more teams because this is a pretty good tag team division right now. So as far as where you'd like to take the save, you have a couple ways you can do it. You can keep doing what USPW kind of does right now, and that's just poach the best of the talent in the world and continue doing that. You could open up your own training facility and find a developmental deal and start creating your own talent. That's kind of up to you. And then there's plenty of talent on the roster, and then there's also plenty of money to buy talent from anybody else's roster. So one of the big things that you have to watch, though, is as it says here, the wrestling industry in the U.S. is currently very weak, and the economy is very weak. So that could affect everything you do. But you have quite a bit of money in there, and plus you have that huge network and that huge coverage from the rest of the world. So that shouldn't be too much of a problem in the beginning of the save, and hopefully that will, depending on how it goes, it could rise or it could get worse, but I don't think that would be too major of an issue because you have such a great amount of money in the bank and that huge coverage. So I hope you guys enjoyed this look at the C-Verse and the United States Pro Wrestling. Next video we will look at the #2 company in the world, which is the SWF. Go through them, go through everything and see how they are, see their roster. If you guys have any tips or tricks on booking United States Pro Wrestling, go ahead and leave them in the comments. Let other people see what you guys have. Maybe you guys have some good ideas for some of these storylines or some people on the roster that you would use in this storyline. So please let us know in the comments. And I'm Last Son, guys. Stay awesome, keep playing, and have a wonderful day. And I'll see you in our next video.